right, so welcome back, Seth. And we want to welcome somebody very popular in the local community. It's a rising star, although she's been around for a bit. I was looking at her history. But we welcome Nicole, food editor of Miami New Times, to the A Day in Miami podcast today.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
You know, I saw her, a quick story, I saw her at Ceviche 105.
Yeah.
And it was, I think they were doing something with Corrugated Magazine or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think your boss, was it? Or somebody said something like, hey, you need to talk to her.
Yeah,
and
no,
then,
they made sure we talked.
Yeah, and it was awesome. And I was
connected.
like, man, she's doing good stuff. I know you just got into Miami New Times recently, was it?
Yeah,
like,
a year ago. This month.
Okay, which is the position was held before by a friend of yours.
Yeah,
said.
Lainey Doss.
But she was there for years.
So it's kind of not controversial, but it was kind of like a new way, like for me to come in. You know, totally different style of writing, I think. And
yeah. So tell me a little bit about that. Like, you get the call from Miami New Times.
Yeah.
And you're coming in, and like, how are you feeling, or how does something like that transpire? And how do you feel about it? Because there's a lot of foodies and possible people who can fill that position.
Oh, for sure.
They went for you.
Yeah, for sure. So I started as a journalist at like Channel 7, Local 10 News. That's kind of my background. But it wasn't until COVID where I became like a foodie, food blogger. I started posting about food, but I never even thought in a million years food editor. You know, like that's going to be my path. I thought I could just do local news or maybe get into like entertainment or something. And then I became like such a food blogger, I guess, that people started associating me with food. And I was getting invited to restaurants all of a sudden.
Oh, wow.
But it kind of was like organic. I'm not like Mr. Eats 305 or
I don't feel like
never
heard of him.
Like I don't feel like I'm up there, you know. But I do think like I was part of that scene. And then this job opened up with Tom Finkel, the editor in chief, and he was like, you know what, like he kind of took a gamble on me because I was an influencer, you know, like right before this, and I was on a reality TV show. I was on The Bachelor.
But you grew your profile already.
Yeah. So I mean, he kind of like took, you know, a risk with me, but he believed in me. Like our conversation was amazing, and I kind of jumped right in. No one kind of taught me the ropes because, you know, no one really works with me. I'm the food editor, and I manage that whole section. Like we don't have any staff writers or anything, you know. So I get people like Sef who are awesome to contribute, and yeah. It's been crazy. I just kind of rolled with it.
I was gonna say for people who don't know what a food editor does, like, you know, or they don't know too much about journalism. Like, what is like a day to day in your life? Like, I guess kind of guide us through like what
crazy.
Is it that you do?
No, it begins like at 7 a.m. literally because I feel like I open Instagram and I see a restaurant opened from World Red Eye. He's posting that a restaurant opened, or I see a food blogger going to a new spot. So immediately I think of who I can assign a story to.
Okay.
So I start assigning but these are just freelancers, you know, it's not a staff that I have. So I start pitching stories, or I get a pitch from someone like Sef who pitches me a story. And then most of the time I'm actually writing all day long my own stories.
Gotcha.
So I think, oh my God, like this place closed down in South Miami. Oh my God, I need to write about it. So I go to town. I'm kind of one of the only editors that's writing and publishing the same hour. And I just move on. I'm pretty fast, but I think it's because of my news background.
Yeah.
So I'm like doing things pretty much that same day, you know?
Yeah, but that's good because it's relevant. It stays like, you know, in a rapid timeline, and you need to pump out content.
Oh, yeah, I have to.
If not, like, you know,
no.
it's kind of just
content is king, and just getting the most, like, you know.
How do you go about like deciding, okay, I'm going to write a story on this person or this business? Is there something that you look for, or it's just if it's intriguing to you?
And I think I'm lucky that I'm one of actually the only food editors in Miami that's born in Miami and raised here, born and raised, and I still live here.
And you went
all
to
of them.
U.
Yeah, I went to UM. Like I'm born and raised. Like I get it. My family is Cuban American. Like we're all Cuban. I understand kind of the scene really well. So like knowing about Sunset Place, I grew up there. I know what's important. So I know like if a place closes down that was around for 20 years, I know there's a whole community that's going to be like crying about it, and
that's incredible.
I kind of get it, you know.
Are you kind of like Seth, where like you give very, very honest answers, or can you be brutally honest?
No, I actually can.
Yeah,
I really can.
Like I saw something the other day that I got a lot of complaints about because happens to be one of our clients is there, and it was the Infatuation Miami, and they went and they did a video of the river.
I saw that video.
On the river.
I saw that video.
And when I saw that video, I was like, I'm gonna get a phone call, and I did. And I was like, at the same time, like, it's kind of like really brutally mean, you know, and you're kind of like hurting a business.
Yeah.
But that's their opinion, you know, and they're one of the only people that supposedly they give like the truest opinion, you know. Wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Infatuation?
Yeah.
They're probably the most accurate as far as calling things out. I didn't see the story you're talking about.
Yeah, it was. She did a reel.
I
She
saw
went
it,
to
but they were
Oh,
like,
was it real?
they were hating on the poor Miami River, but they can't choose that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were like,
Listen,
oh, you're going to
gotta
see
it.
barges.
Correct.
Going back.
She went to Elia.
Yeah, and Habibi.
Habibi and Casanillos, right? She did her little review. And then she's like, oh, my God, look at my plane. Oh, my God, there's a barge and a boat going
But it's
by.
not fair because, I mean, South Beach is already saturated. Where else
Yeah.
can you go on the water, you know? Like, they
I
had
think
to
the river's
use,
getting nice.
you know?
I think the river's
Yeah.
getting nice. But when it comes to giving brutally honest reviews, how do you go about it when you're, because I know you're a staff writer now.
Well, I think I'm doing something a little different with Nicole can probably tell you more, but I'm trying to
Yeah.
cover really kind of the historical beat on things. So
Okay.
mostly you'll see me, I wrote about Steve's Pizza turning 50, Imago de las Fritas turning 40.
Got you.
Charhead, I just did something Miami versus Tampa Cubans.
Oh, that was controversial a little bit. The Cuban sandwich.
With the delicious
Right?
Tampa Cuban bread. Delicious.
All right, but that's something that I want to get into. So you recently started working with Miami Herald. I mean, sorry, Miami New Times.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think that was a very interesting pickup. But whoever just made that decision, that was a very smart decision. Because he has a lot to say.
No, it was like match made in heaven.
It is.
was good.
It is like the whole situation going on with Mojo Donuts and
Oh,
the
yeah.
situation.
I don't know what
going
you're
on.
talking about.
No, he's like my little plug. Like, he literally is my little mole. He gives me
It's
deeds.
good to know that.
No, at 8 a.m. I'm like, ooh, what's he going to tell me?
Now I know why I
He's
get
like,
asked questions
listen.
about
He's
stuff
like, and here's a
sometimes.
number. Tell him. He's like sliding in numbers. I'm like,
Yeah, I listen. The truth is, there's some stuff I wouldn't write about, but I tell her, "Hey, this is going on. I don't know if this interests you."
yeah.
I won't admit which stories they were, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Sometimes like, don't tell
All
me.
right, but Seth, right here, you let us know where is the best. Is it Cuban sandwich or pan con bistec? Pan con bistec
for
for in Tampa or Miami?
no, it's the Cuban sandwich.
Okay, where do you think is the best Cuban sandwich? I mean people have-
Miami?
No.
Or you're saying city-wise?
Yeah, city-wise. Who has the better Cuban sandwich city-wise, Tampa or Miami?
I want to be clear. I'm going to hide my home address after I say this.
Oh, no.
Tampa.
How is that possible?
How is that possible? Were you to say both cities are sourcing the best ingredients, the main difference is the bread at Tampa is better.
But in
And-
what sense?
It's made totally different. It's the old school bread made in Cuba with the leaf down the middle to score the bread. You have to try it. It's a crustier bread. It's probably closer to kind of like a French bread style, and it's crunchy on the outside. But when they press it, it gets a nice like little shine. It's different.
And what do you say to people in Miami that like feel like that's sacrilegious to?
Well, I think the main problem with the people in Miami who are arguing is they've never had a Tampa Cuban. So how can you argue with me if you haven't tried it? I've tried
It's
it.
true. It's fair.
I haven't.
So how can you tell
Yeah.
me if you've had both and you prefer the Miami? I can't really argue. At the end of the day, it's your taste, right?
Yeah.
But if it's a matter of you telling me no, the Miami's better, but you've never had Tampa, I had my dad tell me no, the Miami sandwich is better. I'm like, you haven't had a Tampa Cuban in like 30 years. How are you going to tell me that?
And you know what's crazy? I actually went to Cuba in 2014, and we brought a Cuban sandwich from Versailles. Like, we went to the one in the airport, and we brought little snacks over because my grandma's family still lives there. So I went once, like in 2014, and then they had never heard of a Cuban sandwich, and they thought that was crazy that we called it that, like
Yeah.
a cubano. Like, what does that mean?
A cubano.
What do you mean a cubano? Like, what do you mean a Cuban
I
sandwich?
also think if someone
So
calls
who
it a
invented
Cuba-
it? What city do you think? I mean, Miami probably
I'm gonna
is the
say
start.
Tampa.
Do you think Tampa?
Tampa
had-
invented it.
Yeah, I think everything came in through the Keys, and then there was the streamline, the Tam-Miami Trail, which is Tam-Miami, so there's that connection there. There's a great book about the history of the Cuban sandwich and talks about the history and the lineage to Tampa. The whole salami thing is because there were day laborers over there that were Italian, and so that's where the salami comes into. But as I always say, I exist in a world where adding salami makes something better, not worse. So when someone says, no, it's not good because it has salami, I'm like, get out of here. What kind of a stupid comment is that?
But to your point, I went to Cuba in 2018 with my brother,
Wow.
and it was like a feeling of like, okay, I want to kind of get back to the homeland. I've never been before, but just to feel the roots again. And the food scene over there, not going to like nice restaurants, just on the streets,
Yeah.
was not good. Like I thought I was gonna eat the best. Imagine you go to all these other countries, usually South America, anywhere else around the world, and they take care of their cuisine, because they source it from different. I went and I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat the best pan con lechon ever in my life for sure. I got that thing. And it had pieces of bone in it, like
Of course,
ligaments, cartilage, dry. And I was like,
It was bone in.
and I was like, okay. maybe my thoughts of how this trip was gonna go with the food scene wasn't as written.
I think I would be eating bread and water with.
I know.
I'd probably go on a
because
quick
it died.
diet.
Like once communism started, like it had no choice. Like we don't even know what it was like.
Yeah, I mean,
in the
there's
20s, 30s, roaring.
There's no supply chains,
40s,
I'm sure.
50s.
The shortages of everything. I mean, I don't want to get into that. That's a
Right,
long
that's a whole other thing
conversation.
that we can talk
But
about.
what I was
Yeah.
expecting, like I go to Colombia, I have a bandeja paisa. People can say, I'm going to Colombia now next week, and the food scene's phenomenal over
Yeah.
there. You go anywhere else. But Cuba, obviously, for the situation they're in, you can tell it's like not good. It's not like a good food scene unless you go to like the beach area where the hotels are at and stuff like that.
And street food is usually kind of the most telling thing when you go to another country, right? If they have a great street food scene, then the food is generally good. Cuba doesn't have.
But it was good to go to. I went to a paladar. I think it's what it's called, like a home. That was the only good meal we had, like cooked by like some
Cooked at
abuela
home,
over
of
there.
course.
That was good
Yeah,
in Cuba.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you. Before you came into Miami New Times, you used to be like a typical journalist, no?
Yeah.
It was
Like breaking news,
breaking
local
news journalist.
Yeah.
How does somebody get into that type of like industry? How is it you got to get in front of the camera? How does it you feel so comfortable in front of the camera?
I think it's because I grew up studying acting, singing, dancing. I'm one of those little kids that my mom put me in dance class, like starting at Maria Verdeja and Coral Gables, like since I was little. You already know I'm like one of those girls.
Can we see pictures of that?
So yeah. And then I got into theater. I performed at Coconut Grove Playhouse.
Oh, wow.
Which is like rest in peace. Like I pass by it every day, sad that it's
a lot of memories
haunted.
there.
Yeah, so many memories there. And then I got into that, and then I thought I was gonna become like a theater major, but then I realized to be a theater major, you have to be super passionate and almost dorky about it. You have to be intense, and I'm not that person.
Yeah.
Like I just liked it, but I wasn't like passionate for acting. So then I realized, wait, I'm kind of good at writing. That's what I realized, and I was like, all right, I could kind of blend.
You don't use ChatGPT?
Oh no. I wish. No, I mean, like we're discussing like how to maybe like help us a little bit with that. Like
I think it's phenomenal. I think it's phenomenal. Now I write my emails to my staff, and I'm like, in a passive aggressive tone, get this message across, da 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 da, and then they're like, oh wow,
No,
Well, it's not good for historical stuff. I've tested asking, hey, give me the history of this, and this place is known for this. I'm like, absolutely not. I respond to it. I'm like, no, that is incorrect.
Really? You
And then
like, give
it
it
gave me a
feedback?
second suggestion that was wrong. I can't remember what the topic was. And I was like, nope, that's wrong also. This is what they're known for. And I was like, he goes, anything else you want to know? I'm thinking like, obviously not. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But man, maybe you should tap into that or something. You can create your own GPT. You
We're a Miami one.
submit information, but yeah,
I should make so that no matter what you ask, we always just give attitude about what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's not even that good.
Okay, one of the I think a lot of people know you because you were on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Right. People love reality TV shows. I when I was younger, I always wanted to be like on what was it, the one on MTV?
Real World.
Oh, yeah.
The Real World. I was always like submitting my stuff. Maybe
You look like you would be in the real
That would
world.
have been awesome.
Take that for as you want.
I like this one. This Real World is better.
The
for me,
buzz
though.
cut, whatever. Yeah, you would have
So,
killed it.
how is it that you got on the show?
Yeah.
Like, explain a little bit of the
Yeah.
history of how, kind of like what intrigued you about that, and then how was your experience throughout the show?
Yeah. So what's crazy is that I took a break from local news to work for Swarm event agency,
Oh, with
doing
Javier?
like marketing. Yeah. And I was like Javi Zayas. Yeah, Javier.
Yeah.
And then so I was doing that, and then I was like, you know what? I'm single, like post college. I have like time.
Feeling
Why
good?
not?
Yeah.
Like, why not apply for this? My friends were the ones that had like pushed me to do it, and then you just don't. I applied, and then I didn't hear back until a year later. So I just happened to still be single at the time, and then you just don't think you're gonna make it because like I'm a Miami girl. I'm not like this blonde model or something. Like, why on earth would I even make it? But I kept on making it to the next round. They flew me to LA.
But what are you doing? Just submitting information? And that's it?
This online, and then they wanted me to send a video, but I chickened out.
Okay.
So I always chickened out. Like, I did not think this was gonna happen. And then they gave me a phone call. Like, there's an open call in casting in Fort Lauderdale if you want to show up. And I went with my mom. This is like a secret. I never told my friends. I went to the casting with my mom, and everyone else went with their manager. Like I'm there with I'm literally the only one who showed up with a mom, and my mom.
That's good family support.
No, it was good because then my mom started talking to the casting agent, thinking it was a mom. She was like, "Can you believe my daughter's here? Oh my god! Like I wish she was a producer. What is she doing with her life? Like she should be working for ABC instead of like." She was complaining, like, why is she here? My daughter, oh my God, is she going to find someone? She was just, like, venting. And then they're like, who's your daughter? And they put me in a special room to interview me just because of my mom, basically.
That's
They love
amazing.
my mom. I had no idea. I'm there stressed. Like I didn't know my mom.
But
was
like,
involved.
is it like really real? Like, do people end up together after? Or
Yes,
how does
some
that
of
work
them.
out? Like,
I'm actually on a season where people are married right now and they're still together.
And do you
and
guys
kids
communicate
and everything.
with each other? Like, is it
Yeah,
like
I
an
still have. I
alumni
feel
and
like
stuff?
it's like a sorority sister. Like these are my sorority girls, and it's like a weird bond. We all went through this trauma. It was traumatic. I could like go on. That's another like trauma bonding. But I could go on and on. Like they sent me to like Thailand and Singapore, and my friend said when she faced, they take away your phone for 2 months. Like you have no music, no news.
You're not talking to nobody.
I didn't know Hurricane Martin or something Milton came. I didn't know like politics happened, a storm. They don't tell you.
So what is it like the day to day? You're living in a house with people.
So imagine this, like what it feels like to be like this with no phone and we're just talking to each other.
Yeah.
That's it, with no music, just for hours and hours and hours and hours.
All
And then
day
they
long.
give you some alcohol
And no croquetas.
and food and no croquetas.
No croquetas, no.
All you're doing-
No pastelitos.
So all you're
And you
doing
can't
is-
work out. You can't do anything. You're just talking and thinking about relationships with each other.
Wow.
So you do go crazy. Imagine this group of us, like some of us get close and then there's like drama because there's 2 women and then maybe I'm like flirting with someone, but then they're in your ear listening. Like a producer is listening upstairs basically going like, I heard she said this, like we're going to spin it. But you don't know. So you think it's real.
So, but they're recording.
And I'm
everything.
too honest. This is probably why the producers liked me, but it was my downfall because I was saying like, oh my God, he's never going to date me. I'm way too
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
the way
you're
to win The
expressive.
Bachelor, I realize now, is to be the quiet one who doesn't say anything,
Stay in
who's
the
just
corner.
pretty and quiet. Those are the girls that win. The ones that are like super funny, outgoing, talking to everyone, they're the ones that get chopped. Like,
Yeah, but that makes for good
Immediately.
TV too.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
How random it. But all right, so then you find out like
Yeah.
you don't win.
Yeah.
Okay. You get a major deal with an ice cream
Oh yeah,
company,
that was so
right?
funny. No.
Like,
Like I won a free supply of ice cream with Halo, the
yeah,
diet
that
ice
was
cream.
super cool.
No, that was
I didn't
insane.
know.
I know, and I wasn't even like a known foodie, so I don't know how someone tips someone off like, oh, she's perfect, she loves ice cream. Like, of course, like I love dessert. So like I was on stage with Chris Harrison. He's like the host that's kind of been outed recently. So yeah, so which is a big. I guess like it's just funny that happened to me because I wasn't a huge fan favorite. Or maybe I was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't like I didn't win or anything. I just got kicked off the show. I'm the Miami
Yeah,
girl.
but that's still. Hey, listen,
So-
you were there, and you
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
you grew your
So that was kind of
profile.
amazing. And ever since that moment, like I feel like Oreos started sending me Oreos. They would send me Oreos in my face. Like all of a sudden, I was like, Sphinx. I got a Burger King collab. Like things were happening like that. Like in the fast food world, actually, that you would like. I've done Raising Cane's, Burger King, McDonald's. Like I don't know how like that happened to me. Like literally, Oreo was like happy. Like I have a picture of it. I can show
Are
you.
these, like, paid
Happy
collabs?
birthday to her. No, like well, the Oreo was free. They never paid me, but the other ones were paid
They're
collabs.
pick- That's
Yeah.
amazing, though. That's amazing.
I don't know
That's
how. Like it's like literally hilarious.
So you
'cause-
come back home, you're done.
Yeah.
You're off the show.
Yeah.
Did you actually feel like depressed of what happened in the show, or like?
Well, I
is it
did
like
2
you're- like a
shows.
turn on and turn off type thing.
Well, I did Bachelor in Paradise to
Okay.
redeem to make it because I realized that was going to be way more fun because that's where all the fan favorites go on a Mexico trip.
Okay.
And we're just together for a month. So that was fun. But I was depressed after the first show, The Bachelor,
And then the second one happened how long after?
a couple months after.
couple
So it was like
months
bang, bang, all 2019.
And when,
Right before COVID, I did all this.
That's
when you were
incredible.
saying, let me ask you, do they plant ideas in your head?
Yeah. But I didn't
Yeah.
realize it.
Yeah. I figure that they're like egg you on, or they want you to do something.
And they know
so-
and they met my grandma. They met my, they filmed, I'll show you guys. They filmed,
what
they
are
filmed
the
in Mama Fina. They know my abuela's name. They're like, what would Mama Fina think? That's my abuela. They're like, what would AJ, your brother, what would he do?
I should be working there.
isn't that
What's going on
crazy?
here?
So they make
Oh,
you,
really good reality show.
they're in your head, like making you feel like you're right. This is life or death. Like, what would my abuela say? Like, oh my God, I need to marry him. Like, you go crazy. It's insane.
great.
So
Yeah.
both of you guys are really well known. Foodies, right? You consider yourself a foodie? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Even though I know there's like a negative connotation to that word.
Yeah, I think
everyone's a
Yeah.
foodie, you know,
No,
like-
some people aren't.
Some people are more high profile than others,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. But like, I love eating food, you know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a guy who was. When I in the mid '90s, when there wasn't really a big food scene down here, I loved the burger from Outback Steakhouse. And my dad worked for Wise Potato Chips, and he worked with a lot of the other truckers. And the guy who sold Cowie Mate Bajubiña, he always talked to me about cheeseburgers when we saw each other. And he says to me, "A mí me encanta el cheeseburger." And then I told him, "Te voy a llevar a Outback a comerte un cheeseburger." And so when I told him the price, I think Outback back then was like $6.99 or $7.99 for the burger. And me say, "No, hombre, no. Puedo ir a McDonald's. ¿Tú sabes cuántos hamburgues puedo comprar en McDonald's por 99 centavos?" When he said that to me, I go, "This guy has no idea. I'm done with this guy."
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't consider that guy a foodie.
I was like, is this the
Yes,
beginning of how you started? Like,
No, but I just like some people you talk and he's talking
My
about
mom,
the price, not the quality. Which
Yeah,
is,
of course. Yeah,
I think foodies generally care about the quality.
the quality and the experience. I think now included. But how did you originate, or how did you think of the Burger Beast? Like, where did that originate from?
Marcella, actually. Yeah, I was a store manager at Metro PCS in Coral Gables, and I was just very frustrated. I had been doing retail management for 15 years, and I was frustrated. But when we would go on trips with our friends, I was the one kind of planning out everything we did, from where the restaurants, we were in Vegas or whatever city we were in. I was planning out pretty much all our stops. And she saw me really frustrated one day. I always say it would be like a Lifetime movie. I'm sitting at the edge of the bed, like on the verge of tears. And she's like, you should just write about all the places you like to eat. Everyone always asks you where you should go. And I mulled it over, and I thought a great name would be, now that's a tasty burger, because I like that line from Pulp Fiction. And she's like, it should be the Burger Beast.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the URL was available, and I got it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Talking about that topic, the Krabby Patty came out.
Oh, yeah, the collab.
The collab with all these restaurants.
Yeah.
and I was like, shoot, I'm still a huge, SpongeBob
Oh, yeah,
fan.
me too.
I used to love SpongeBob.
Me too.
SpongeBob.
I'm like a big one. Yeah,
I
yeah.
never understood why there was never a Krabby Patty anywhere. Like, I was like, why don't they just open a Krabby Patty store?
Yeah.
So this collab comes out, and I was super excited for it. I ended up eating the Wendy's one.
Garbage.
Yeah, the worst. I mean, weren't there because there was local collabs.
There was
too.
local collabs, but
that was just nothing.
I know, but I wanted to get your I want to give you the floor. Give me your feedback on that collab, how it transpired, and maybe did you think it was good or bad, or which prints were your favorite?
From me paying attention to watching how big companies roll things out, I thought that was a total disaster. I didn't think they did a good job of explaining who was doing the collabs. I know they had the website, but even some of the restaurants didn't even announce they were doing the collaboration. So unless you follow them on social media, you went to the restaurant, you wouldn't find out they were doing. And some people went all out. Pincho, I think, did a really great job. Babes Meat Encounter did a really great job. Some of them, I don't even know if they ever really did it. I saw them listed, but I don't know if that really happened. As far as the Wendy's, which was well branded out, they had a beautiful poster on the window that I wanted to steal. Right? I just thought it was nothing special. I think the best thing was a Frosty, which I think it was like a pineapple.
They did.
A pineapple Frosty, and that was good.
And I don't pick from it. It was decent,
But you're right. They should. I can't believe they haven't made a Disney World type of Krabby Patty,
like a legit one.
Because I would literally go to that. Like, I would run there if it looked just like it, like the little wooden.
After watching like
building.
28 seasons of SpongeBob,
and the little cashier and Squidward.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite cartoon. Well,
yeah, me too. Wait, I was a SpongeBob person. Like, I have full episodes memorized.
Nicole, so you go to so how often do you go out to eat during the week?
It's picked up, which is bad. Like, it's like now I feel like in the beginning I was like going like once a week at least, like twice. Now it's like I'm getting invited on a Tuesday. My friend wants to check out a new spot on like literally Thursday, so it's like then Saturday, Friday, Saturday.
So
like 4 times a week.
But
it's
they'll
crazy.
DM you, or the restaurants are DMing you, or how?
No, like sometimes I make these reservations secretly because I want to go as just like a guest, and like I don't want them to know I'm coming. Yeah. So I'll do it with like a fake name, because I kind of want to be low key. But then sometimes, like if it's just a party and opening, I'll go as Nicole Lopez-Alvar, like I go as myself.
Yeah. Or she ignores any of my suggestions.
No, I went to Mastercraft. No, I went to the Taurus.
The thing is that eating. I mean, there's so many restaurants.
No, and that I feel a little bit stressed sometimes that I'm not going to all of them, but I can't. I'm not going to go to Habibi and all these big places. And it's hard.
It's a different world.
You should see my hit list. If you saw it on my phone right now, it's like scary.
How
it's
many you got on the hit list?
Like 100. Like, and it keeps on adding up, so I almost have to like stop adding to the hit list because it's like overwhelming.
Are there restaurants right now that you're like eager to go to that you haven't been able to go to? Like, what are your like?
I know it's bad, but I haven't been to Tam Tam. And it's been on like the top of my list, and it's won like Michelin recognition.
They like listicles here. So what he's asking you, what are your top 5 places you need to hit up?
Yeah, I was going to get that, but that's a good one.
Edam Bistro.
The ones in the future that you want to go to.
Yeah.
Give us right now your top 5 that you want to visit.
They have a burger, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. But I haven't been to Edam Bistro.
I only know the places that have burgers.
So Edam Bistro?
Yeah, that one for sure.
Okay.
Tam Tam, I haven't been to.
you mentioned.
Tina and the Gables just opened, and I plan on going there for brunch this weekend or next weekend. But I heard amazing things. That's why I just included it today. I just listed my top 9 new restaurants. By the way,
okay,
I'll show you.
Gonna put that.
I don't
put that out there.
Yeah.
And how do you do you try to go to different sections in the city, or how do you kind of work that out? Like when you're deciding on where you're gonna go.
I do, because I feel like it's not fair to just write about Wynwood in Midtown, and you know all these hot spots. Like, of course, all the foodies are gonna be going there. So I've been even heading out to Fort Lauderdale because you know a lot of our readers are in Fort Lauderdale, but they don't really have a magazine or a newspaper. Anymore. You know, like no one anymore. Like no one really is covering Fort Lauderdale. Right. So when I post a Fort Lauderdale story, it blows up. Or something like deep in like Broward, like even the Char Hut story. Those stories are getting like hundreds of thousands of views.
Oh wow!
Which is crazy because you know Florida's huge, and like even Kendall. Sometimes in opening La Boulangerie, I don't know, in Kendall blew up because like they were excited to get that. You know,
that's my hood.
I know. So I want. Actually, I need to find some writers that will help me explore Kendall.
I can help you explore Kendall.
Oh, let's do it.
I'll just ChatGPT myself.
No, I can't trust you. Your review, it's gonna be all like.
You can't trust me. So
Can you trust the guy who liked the Wendy's Krabby Patty?
Yes.
Don't trust him.
That's his one story today.
Listen,
It's the Wendy's.
I can't go to a place and give an honest review. I feel so bad because I'm thinking like the work they put in, this, that, the hiring, the staff, and I'm like, I'm gonna have another meal later. You know, why am I gonna complain about this? Yeah. So it's hard for me to be a critic. You know, and
what's your favorite type of food?
I eat anything, you know. I think like burgers and stuff like that. Like I love like finger food, like burgers.
I know you went to the side chick
wings.
truck.
I love wings. I love wings.
The side chick truck.
I like you recommended me the
side chick.
No, I was there at an event. Shout out to them because you know, and I saw the sticker, Burger Beast approved, and I sent it to him, and then he goes, get what is it, the corn,
elote fries. Yeah, the side chick truck.
The side chick truck. Yeah, but they have other options there.
Yeah. Well, the elote fries was just Marcel and I were looking. We're like, what is this ridiculous? And then they give you it. So it looks like a
phenomenal. It's like phenomenal. It was elote fries, and I'm not really big on with the pieces of crispy chicken on top.
Yeah, chopped up chicken on top. Yeah, totally over the top.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad. I'm not a big fan of the burger that they had because of I don't like macaroni and cheese, and they stuffed macaroni and cheese into it.
I don't know.
I felt like it was too much, you know. So I was like.
How do you?
The chicken stuff
your burger
is better.
But there's so many new burger spots.
Yeah,
Miami's become like a burger town.
Yeah,
I'll
Smash
Burger Town. Oh yeah, we had this discussion too.
I'll take down 4 double cheeseburgers. You know, from
that's how we first got started. Remember, I was asking you what makes a real smash burger, and you were telling me about like the whole process, the science behind it.
You should ask him right now.
Yeah, I know. No. So no, because he could go on and on about it.
To talk about smash burgers.
No, why? Sensitive stuff because some people are doing smash burgers.
Yeah. I think Miami's like that. Miami's a copycat city. You know, everyone's doing this. They're getting.
Oh, you're trying to get yourself in trouble. I'm going to put your address up now.
No, man, it's a copycat city.
It is. Yeah.
Listen, if people see you successful with a smash burger online, they're going to start going to the kitchen. I don't want to say copycat. I don't think that's right. We're innovative. You know, we're innovative. So you're going to get the guy, hey, let's figure out how to do a smash burger now. You know?
Let's figure it out with our...
We're going to put that on social media.
I think I told you, we do smash burger pop-ups, you know, every couple of months. And I had a guy who read your list about the best smash burgers, and my Cruz Diablo burger was on there. And the guy comes and proceeds to give me a grade. He's like, hey, this is a great smash burger. I came here because of the New Times article. I'm like, oh, cool, man. And he goes... I give you an 87. I'm like, thank you. In my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to grab this guy by the neck and throw him to the middle of Bird Road. I'm like, I don't really care what you think.
But that's what I love about him, though. You know, you're always going to get, he's consistent. He's consistent in his thoughts. You know, he's not going to fuck around with you. Do you ever go to the streets and people call you like, hey, Nicole, or they try to like tell you something like that, or like...
Like restaurant wise, they do. Yeah.
And do you feel like they're a little bit more careful?
And what's funny is that I don't know if they recognize me from my writing or from The Bachelor, or like I never know. I'm like, oh no, like why do they know me?
People hitting on you because of The Bachelor.
Oh, that's true.
Are they? No.
And it was actually no. Well, that's happening. But what's happening also is chefs sliding into my DMs, which is really funny. No, I won't name any names.
No, but you're single.
I like how you.
I am single.
I like how she said sliding into the DMs.
Yeah,
sliding into the DMs.
Listen, sliding into the DMs.
Yeah,
right. For those people, I'm married now, so. For those guys that are younger, it's a numbers game. That's all it is. You spit out 100 DMs, you're gonna get like a 3 or 4% conversion rate.
That's amazing.
I will give you advice. Good bio on Instagram. No shirtless pictures. Man. I'm not a big fan of shirtless. Professional. You know, you want to come across the right way. And no pictures with money. No pictures pretending you're something you're not. And you'll get like a 10% conversion rate.
Well, you sound like you have experience.
I have a lot
doing this before you got married.
And I have experience with the dating apps, the Bumble. That was awesome.
Me too.
That was just it was too easy. Yeah. You know, But Miami's like that, you know. Miami's
Marcel
like,
and I have been together 26 years.
that's good.
Wow, yeah, you don't know. Yeah, you missed all that.
Thank goodness.
I'm like,
I've been married now a year and a half, and I was together for 5 years. But she knew, you know, coming into it, she knew. She had heard.
Did
like,
you slide into her
my
DMs?
reputation. No, she was actually an intern here at the office.
wow.
You know.
Marcel and I
Old
used to
school.
be her boss at one point.
You see, that's the old school way.
Yeah, that's the old school.
I work virtual, so
Yeah.
it's like I
Old
don't even
school
have
way.
that.
Employee, you're going with me to eat.
See, in my case, it was like we have an event and I need someone to help me cover it. And we went to
Your
a
bedroom.
movie crawl, and they took us to the Everglades, and we got like an event. We had like on an airboat and everything, and then we started like we just saw it, and then one day I'm like talking to her, and I'm like, she was really like staring at me a lot and stuff, and I'm like, I think you like me. She goes, why? Do you like me? Oh, you're pretty, you know. Like, and then the rest is history.
All right, I can't wait
That's
to ask her
cute.
to
That's
hear
really
the
cute.
real story.
That's not a story,
This
but
is
I
a
promise
very-
you,
That's
I promise
cute.
you.
This
She's
is
not
a
here
fluff-
right now.
this
She's
is a-
she's out of office right now.
This is a fluffy story.
No, I'll give you. So, I know this is going to be a tough question for you.
Ay, Dios mío.
What?
Okay? And you could say right now
No.
to save yourself, okay? But give me your top 3 restaurants in the city. Like starting from
Okay.
3 to 1, okay? Which are your favorites that you would recommend?
Okay. I'll start with like first a new one.
Go ahead.
Sunny Steakhouse. I think the atmosphere is just like phenomenal. It's great for either a date night, bringing your parents, going with friends. It's just beautiful. They have a beautiful like banyan tree when you get there that's
wow.
candle lit with bistro lights, and then you walk in and the bar is popping. So you could just go either for the bar or for dining room, like seating, and the steaks are amazing. Like
What part of
literally-
town is- did you say
this
what
is
part?
Little River. Sorry,
Little
so this
River,
is
okay.
Sunny Steakhouse in Little River.
Nice.
The steaks are amazing. They have amazing raw bar selection. They have like a whole martini menu, just full martinis.
Wow.
So it's like really fun. You know, you could have a really good time there for like a birthday dinner or something.
good.
I think it's amazing, and the desserts are awesome. And for me, desserts have to be good. like,
Yeah.
like, I take desserts very seriously. I don't know.
that's
Like
good.
I'm a dessert girl.
And what's the
So-
parking like?
The parking? No, nah. Yeah. So you're right. So maybe they should work on the parking. So plan to Uber. It is near a train track.
Yeah.
So
I mean, someone tells me a particular.
Yeah.
Usually, what part of town is that?
that's the problem. Yeah. But I do love it. I think that's like one of the biggest hits of like the year. Second, I would say that down in Pinecrest in a strip mall is like my go-to since I was little is Schwede, fine Lebanese restaurant.
Wow, I've
And
never
I
been
would
there.
say
I've
like
never been.
literally that place, it brings like tears to my eyes because it's family run. I walk in, they know my name, and I can't believe it because even when I would go away for college, I would come home and they'd be like, Nicole, how's your mother? How's your abuela? And I'm like, oh my God, she's doing great. And then
Wow,
they'll
that's
sneak
amazing,
in,
though.
they'll sneak in a little baklava. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, tell her, like, we say hi, we miss you guys. And like, you just can't believe how amazing a restaurant can
What's your
exist.
favorite thing to get there?
The lemon chicken. Like, I'm not joking. It sounds really plain that I'm saying it, but it's like really buttery. It's like in a bath of butter sauce, lemon butter sauce, and it's like melt in your mouth. It's the best chicken I've ever had, like literally in Miami.
Yeah, but
And I've had a lot of good, fried chicken varieties, and I'm telling you, this place
But
and
what
that
you say
butter
is,
chicken.
is important about like the service, man. When people treat
Oh,
you
yeah.
like family,
Yeah.
you're always gonna come back. They treat you good, even
Yeah.
if they give you that little, dessert or a little.
No, it's not
drink
even
or
about
something.
that. Yeah.
It's not, but like that shows to you like it makes you feel
Yeah.
special, and everyone loves to feel special. I had talked to Tony
Yeah.
about that once here about in our podcast that we had with from Emmy Guerra
Yeah.
and the Breakwater Group.
Yeah.
And he had mentioned that he goes, we try to make everyone feel special. Everybody wants, even if it's like getting you fast in the line or hooking you
Yeah.
up with something, we try to extend that. And you're number one.
No, number one. No, it's not in that order. I'm torn between two. One is
You can say both.
like I want to say both because I love like if I were to recommend a restaurant to someone new to Miami, I
Yep.
would say Mandolin.
Okay.
You have to book it like in advance, either in the wintertime when it's really pretty outside, amazing food. I love Mediterranean food.
I love it too.
So I just love it. That's why I love Schwede, that Lebanese restaurant also. For me, that's
It's very light.
my
it's
favorite
like-
cuisine. Like, and I just love those flavors like tahini and hummus and all
And
that.
where's that one at?
So that one's in kind of like Design District.
Design District, okay.
On the edge there, and it's just like consistently amazing. Just great service, great atmosphere, great food, amazing wine, good for a date night,
Good.
and just for friends. And I think it's an all around like excellent restaurant. But I would have to say, like just passing by every day, Versailles. I know. Like I
not
think
saying
it's one of the
I'm not
best.
judging you.
In my, I
Oh,
know.
listen,
I think.
I like Versailles a lot too.
No, I love the little counter. I love the window, like
It's a
the
vibe.
La Ventanita.
Yeah, La
like
Ventanita.
I
That
think it's
bakery's
like
great.
I think it's like his,
The bakery
you know,
there's great.
the bakery's that's the best part. La Ventanita and walking into the bakery, looking at the clientele there. It's a different crowd that comes in the morning, and then you see
Yeah.
the bombero and people, local politicians.
Would you
I
say
mean,
that's better than any other Cuban restaurant
No,
in the city?
I think it's more because of the atmosphere,
atmosphere.
history, the service, just like what it means to Miami.
Yeah.
I think it's like really important.
No,
like,
and they
it's
take
an
it serious,
important
too.
restaurant.
Yeah.
So I just think like historic, like when it comes to Miami's history, like we
Yeah.
need it, and
I
I think
agree.
it represents like my Cuban heritage really well. And
I agree. Well,
guess,
they had President. I think Trump went over there not too long ago in the campaign.
Yeah.
it's important.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Like, but yeah, it's a staple.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
a staple.
and people from all over the world
Yeah.
they come to go to Versailles.
But I want to give a shout out to a little Cuban spot down by my house called Malanga Cuban Cafe, which is just my little neighborhood
By
staple.
Pinecrest.
Yeah, in Pinecrest.
Yeah.
So I want to give a shout out to them because they're not huge, but they honestly
your
have
daily.
some. Yeah, they have some really good.
They used to have a food truck for a little bit.
Yeah, they do like a malanga soup, and yeah, they do like really good little twist on
I heard they're
Cuban
gonna
food.
open a Caballo told me they're gonna open a peacock restaurant, a restaurant down which serves only peacocks.
Yeah, right. That's like, come on. No, it's horrible.
For
We
real.
do have a problem with the peacocks.
Peacockadillo.
Did you hear? You heard that in
Picadillo.
Pinecrest? In Pinecrest, they're like spaying and neutering the
Yeah, of
peacocks.
course.
Yeah.
They-
No, it's pretty
That's a
crazy.
good pop-up idea.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
Peacockadillo. Wow, that's bro.
That's right. It's a good
He's
name.
really interested in doing it. He says, "Bro, we harvest them from
That's so
here."
bad.
Harvest stuff.
That's so bad.
Okay, I have something else I wanted to ask you. Like, and I think this is more for you guys, and you can go one first, one the next. Because as you know, I'm not really like a food critic or taster or anything. I eat anything. I don't care. You know, and to me, everything tastes good. But what is it that you look for when you're eating something? Like, how do you grade something? Like, is it smell? Are you grading the service? Like, when do you start grading and when do you finish? And how does that like formula work in your head?
Yeah, I think for me it starts when I walk through the door. Like already, if like the service, like even the hostess or something is kind of like disrespecting someone.
This is not live, so I'm gonna ask a question the right way.
Oh,
so
okay,
the
okay.
clip could be dope. All right, for those restaurants out there that always want to look to be better, and I want to ask you, how is it that you guys grade a restaurant? Right, like, does it start from the door, or just guide me through that process of how you grade a restaurant?
No, so I grade a restaurant. Honestly, the moment I step in, just being greeted by the hostess, if, you know, they're either disrespecting me or my reservation, you know, they can't find my reservation or things are just off in the beginning, that's already kind of like, I'm going in already, you know, kind of doubting this place a little bit. And then, I understand that restaurants are crazy, especially during an opening or something. And then it honestly is everything, like the timing, the flavors in the dish. Like if I'm not blown away, I'm already kind of like, all right, let's see the dessert. Maybe the cocktails are amazing. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. If I have an amazing server who's like super enthusiastic,
That's important.
you know, an amazing server is going to like guide me in the right direction and probably give me a better experience. So it's kind of like everything, every detail, the music, if it's too loud, if I can't talk, if they didn't think about like the insulation of the walls, you know, some restaurants, they kind of want to make sure that all the clinking sounds aren't too much.
I didn't think about
Apparently
that.
that's the thing.
True. Yeah.
So
true. That
like,
makes sense.
if a restaurant is like way too loud and it's uncomfortable to almost have like a heart-to-heart conversation if you're on a first date, if it's awkward because it's so crazy, you know, I'm thinking about all those little details.
You know what I'm big on? The menu. Like if it's a bad menu, if they're making this kind of QR code, if it feels nice, if it's easy to read.
Easy to read.
Nice.
I love like feeling like the paper and stuff. You know, like it's a nice paper menu.
What about when
thick.
it says cooked to perfection or fried to perfection? That drives me nuts. I'm like, that's the best you can come up with in this menu.
or sometimes homemade pasta. I'm like, it better be fresh. No, what was
You're gonna go to the house
store-bought?
first?
No, like imagine
No.
writing store-bought.
What bothers me the most is if they take forever to serve me water. Like if I don't see that like I drink a lot of water and if I see my cup empty, I'm like, coño, hey, that, or if the food takes long to come out, you know. But sometimes I think it's important for the waiter to see the dynamic of the table. Like I was at Mordisco in Doral this Sunday for a birthday party, and we were there for like 3 hours. Like they understood the dynamic, so they were bringing out plates slowly. You know, it was a birthday.
You didn't feel rushed.
You didn't feel rushed, you know, and it felt like we had nice conversations and stuff like that, you know. I think that's one of the most important parts, and it's not easy to hit that mark. Also,
no, I could name some restaurants that have been like, all right, you have 2 hours, or like they're already rushing me right before I'm even sitting down, I haven't even ordered or said a word. They're like, just so you know, we have a party like in 2 hours, which I understand. But like,
you
I already felt kind of like a number. Some restaurants, I even said that today. I wrote an article about the best new ones, and I'm like, these you feel almost valued, like you're important.
Yeah.
And even a tiny spot can make you feel that way, and a big spot can make you feel that way. You know, and I think it's amazing when even like a large hot spot can make you feel really important, and like you could take your time, even if you're not, a Dave Grutman or someone huge.
Yeah. Right.
That's pretty amazing.
But listen, you should treat. I mean, everybody should be treated the same. But going to you, how is it that you are grading? I know. Do you really grade?
Mine is really totally different, bro. I mean, I don't go. I generally don't go to places.
That's what I was gonna ask. You don't grade a restaurant. You grade like an actual item, a menu item.
Right, because I base whether I'm going to visit on what's particularly on the menu. I don't go there. I may talk about the experience occasionally, but I'm more focused on do they have a burger? Is it fresh ground beef is important? I mean, if I know they're using a frozen patty, I will try tracking down where they source the beef if I can, just to kind of get an idea before I go visit. The chicken, is it hand breaded? Are they buying? Those are important details.
How do you find out these things before even going?
I can't give away my secrets.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Are you like calling like a secret?
No, I want to go. We have to do one of these one day. Like, I need to go with them. Yeah.
Now you want to go to places I suggest? Oh,
yeah,
no, but I finally went to one. I went to Mastercraft.
And so listen. From the minute I get there, I don't want to use the word. I think the best way to say is I'm judging them, but it's not really. I'm just trying to take in the experience. And I get there, I see the place, I walk in. The older the place is, the more. Yes, I love it even more.
You got the roaches walking around and stuff and hanging out.
That is not true. Do not say that. And when we're on road trips, in particular, we do road trips, and where we're stopping is based on Marcella going to antique shops and me hitting up restaurants.
By the way, I'm a huge antique fan. I love that stuff. So I watch her in her IG. I scroll through see what you guys are finding.
Yeah.
In the cool IG.
Listen. She can go at antique shops. I've sat 3 or 4 hours in my car waiting.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've fallen asleep many a time out there. I'm like drive around town. Where can I check out? Get a coffee. Get a burger.
Cool.
The thing is that I'll never buy anything. I just like to look at stuff and touch it.
Yeah.
You guys got to come over to our house one day, and then
I
you
would
can
love
kind of
to.
see. It is when someone comes in during Halloween, they're like, "Wow, you did this place up for Halloween." What they don't know is the house looks like that normally.
No,
inside, yeah. Just because of the collection of everything that we have there.
Wow, cool. Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, well, that's Marcella's favorite holiday too.
Yeah.
Halloween. So, have you been to Maiz and Agave?
Oh no, I heard. Yeah, no, I haven't because of. It's actually our one negative review right now. Like all my many times is of Maiz Agave.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it's kind of a unanimous vote where I have not heard one good thing. Besides the atmosphere and music and the overall look, it is beautiful.
But what, you guys have an internal polling or something like that?
No, I just every friend, colleague that I've talked about, no. If I think maybe
5 stars on Google though.
You did?
No, I mean number one for full disclosure, that's my client.
I know it's my
really good friends of mine. They're really good friends of mine. But I wanted to ask you because they've had mixed reviews.
Apparently, it's just it doesn't match the quality of the food, doesn't match the atmosphere, and I think that's so important.
But have you been?
No, I have not, so I can't say anything.
So I would love to invite you out there. So it'll be nice for you to go. I'll talk to the chef, and you. I
would love that because maybe that was in the opening months, so I would love to go now. Now that it's been.
But listen,
you want to invite her and give her special treatment. I got it.
No. She's gonna get special treatment regardless, But listen, the thing is, when a restaurant opens, usually the first 3 months, they're kind of balancing themselves out, and that's what I would hear from all of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't go the first 3 months, or if you're gonna go, don't expect for it to be at full potential.
Or invite a bunch of influencers that are.
Or don't do that either. Which everybody does that because they need to get money to the door.
Yeah, the hype. It was if it opened as a tiny little restaurant, it would have probably gotten way better reviews. It was just the hype of it all, right? It kind of put a spotlight on them,
of course.
On their back in a
100%.
good. It's almost good and bad to be that.
A Miami phrase always is. It's not as good as the hype, or I hear things like that all the time. I haven't heard any hype from this place. What are you talking about? Like someone says, "Hey, the burger's good," and they're hyping this. I think that the problem is my usage of a word and Miami's usage of a word sometimes are not the same thing.
A lot of people hear fair weather, like here it's everything what's trending. If you're winning, and then it just falls off. We do a lot of influencer marketing, and whenever we do campaigns with them, it's crazy because you see it in the numbers. An influencer will go today, they'll post, and you'll see an uptick and then it'll just go back to normal.
So it's like a blessing and a curse, I've heard.
And then you see
for
an uptick,
restaurants.
and you come back to normal. And then you see, so it's like the goal is always how to keep the people consistent, how to keep them coming back. You know, so influencer marketing works. It's phenomenal. It's probably one of the best tools right now, especially for restaurants, because what you're basically doing is getting a person to do a commercial for you. And we get that commercial, and obviously they're putting it onto their platform, but we get it, and we run paid media behind it. So we use that commercial as an ad throughout social media, and it works really, really well, you know, for restaurants. And people eat 3 times a day, and I think at the end of the day, restaurants is about being top of mind. You know, it's like just always here. Hey, I'm here. Come over. And you're fighting for attention. You know, but a lot of restaurants also shut down. You know, they don't last that long. Talking about foodies, okay?
Yes.
Do you have like your top 3 foodies that you follow or that you like a lot, or that are, you know, they could be your friends or people that you would suggest? Not you, besides you. Top 3 foodies.
You were insinuating she was going to say herself?
No, you never know. You know, look.
I follow myself.
I think
Not Kiko, right? I just want to make sure.
I honestly think Mr. Eats 305. I named him as like the best food.
Oh, yeah? He does a good job.
Blogger for 2024.
No.
I do think he does a good job. He's so consistent, like, and he just like he also. I appreciate that he does, you know, like local gems, like that are in Kendall and South Miami. He's not just going to like South Beach every single day.
Yeah. I think he lives in Kendall though. I've seen him at my barbershop.
Right
and he's from Miami. I like that.
Lives right off of Bird Road by Hollywood Donuts.
Oh wow. Oh, and then I saw him at a barbershop at 137 in Miller once. Maybe that's his barber there.
And I like Ivy the foodie.
Evie the foodie?
Yeah, Evie.
Oh my God,
She's
that's
good.
my girl.
No, I love her.
You gotta ask her, who taught you everything you know?
Wow.
Ask her.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm gonna follow her now.
Listen, ask her. She knows.
I think she's cute.
She used to work here.
No way.
She's working at the
Really?
agency.
I think she has a.
She's phenomenal.
She's really authentic and like a good person, humble.
She went to one of my
and
burger clubs.
She really
super-
enjoys food and
She
really
does.
enjoys restaurants.
She's super like Gen Z-ish, you know, with the terms
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that, you know. But yeah, she worked here at the agency for like a year or 2.
Yeah.
And she started her little foodie page. And we had a page, and then we just started sending her to all of our clients. You know, she was doing, and we noticed what she does great content. She was doing great content, and like she was editing nicely and stuff like that. And then she started picking up, doing good, etc. And then she monetized it, and you know, she became a competitor now. You know,
No, I mean, I'm proud of that. I love like,
and
then also another one is May I Take a Bite?
May I Take a Bite is good too.
I think I'm just proud of her too. Guys, I met her back in the day during COVID. And she had like 10,000 followers, and no, you know these women that they're like Latina. They're like they're just organically grown their followings, and it's not because they're like, you know, doing like super hot stuff and like being the prettiest whatever, but they're like being so authentic.
Yeah, and I feel like they haven't been
and
compromised
they're so Miami.
yet, you know.
Yeah,
you know, like.
And I just enjoy it. And I think there's a lot of men in the game, and like I like highlighting those 2 women, you know, like in the food scene.
No, I think there's way more women than
No, I think there's more women.
Yes, by far.
In the food blog?
Yeah, I think for sure.
But I think Mr. Eats.
Or maybe I just follow more women than men, but
I mean, I think I follow Josiah Eats, maybe Mr.
there's a
Eats.
lot of
I think
women.
are the only
Like most foodies that we send out, because men are.
Why do you think that?
Men are a little bit more introverted. Maybe they don't want to be editing and doing stuff like that, like as much. You know,
but then of course restaurants, you don't associate, I guess, women digging into these big things.
You don't, so that stands out more too. You know, those are good people. Those are good people.
That's true.
You know what else all 3 of those have in common? They've attended a burger club meeting. You've attended.
I've attended
someone here plays hard to get with me for everything.
Well, I'm really busy.
Listen, you get a free burger, bro. That's all that matters. Yeah, if free food, bro, I'm there. You know, but even though I feel bad sometimes. But what would you say are your top foodies?
Not gonna say.
Which ones do you hate the most?
No, I'm not gonna say that. Marcelo's here. I will get in trouble for that.
Okay.
You would if Marcelo wasn't here. You probably could have gotten that out of me.
Damn. Which ones would you say are the most salesy?
You're not gonna.
No, listen. Advice for a foodie, you know, that you know they want to take your path, or they want to kind of get to your level. Maybe at one point they could be a food editor. What advice would you give them if they want to kind of like continue their path beyond social media?
Beyond social media is to really dive into restaurant history and like why you're loving a certain restaurant, meeting the owners, maybe interviewing the owners. And I think going beyond just like they have a great cheese pool, you know, that's like the basic thing. Food porn is how it started, right?
True,
like
true.
Being a foodie was just food porn. Like, oh my God, look at this cheese pool and like truffle covered this.
Or
I
like
think
the
the ones
biggest cookie ever, you know.
in the foodies that have gone beyond it now, like for example, Mr. Eats or even myself, I guess, like going beyond just like the appearance of food and why it's so important to like your city, and then like loving the city that you're even highlighting and going for it. Like Fort Lauderdale, there's some girls up there that are just promoting Fort Lauderdale restaurants, and I think it's amazing because that's an untapped town. It's not as popular as Miami. You're not going to get as many views thinking about Fort Lauderdale compared to a Miami blogger.
Yeah.
But I think like really like diving into like your city and like why these restaurants are important, going deeper, going to events, even like a Burger Beast event, or becoming part of the community will take you to places maybe on TV or journalism, you know. It'll open your doors.
You said that people can be a part of your team. What were you saying? That you need like a representative in that
So I
area?
just need, I would love more, a lot of people are scared to do restaurant reviews because, you know, food bloggers don't want to not get invited to restaurants. You know, that's the one problem about influencers sometimes, that they're always doing positive reviews.
Yeah,
they're not going to get paid to do a negative one, or so.
Well, you're not going to get invited. If
You're not going to get invited back.
You're
You're not going to, exactly. So a lot of my writers, you know, they don't want to get in trouble with a restaurant. Like they have that fear, and I'm like looking for someone who's willing to just be real, not even be negative. We don't want negativity. I don't want to bring down restaurants. It's more looking for restaurant reviewers, and then just a staff writer who's like, hey, Nicole, I live down in the boondocks, like in Kendall, like this spot just opened. It looks awesome.
Kendall is not the boondocks.
Okay, I'm making an example. Homestead. Hey,
Homestead is the boondocks.
Okay, that's the boondocks. Okay, so I live all the way down in the tip of Homestead, almost near the Keys, but this
West
spot
Kendall is boondocks.
No, man.
deep in, it's because of traffic. Only because of traffic.
Yes, it takes me an hour here to get in the morning,
only because of traffic. But I want someone who's like, hey, because I don't have eyes there. You know, I need eyes everywhere. Even a Hialeah eye. I need someone who's like, wait, this little gem is like going crazy in the morning.
So what do these people consider? Like, what do you call
So
them?
I guess like I would want a contributor. I guess
Contributor.
yeah. For me, they're like my little like army of like my
your
little,
eyes
like,
and ears.
food.
You know,
Oh yeah, they are.
your mouths.
And I honestly, I have some brokers and stuff that, you know, I get tips anonymously now, which is really funny.
Wow.
From people who are like totally anonymous, a fake email, and they send me like I broke the news that Italy was coming to Florida.
Yeah.
Like that food hall, and it's because I got an anonymous source, like 3,800 square feet, Italy, signed, and they send me like the plan from the city of Aventura and stuff.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
It's
super
anonymous.
Cool. Yeah,
So and I now have like brokers too that I even like text like, is this really happening? And I broke the story that China Grill was coming back.
China Grill, that I went there when I was younger.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that good, but it's okay. Maybe because I was younger, you know. But
yeah. But I mean,
I
apparently
didn't
it was
think
one of the
that
first.
big of an issue,
It started.
when I listened to when I read your article and I saw the history of it. I was like,
The history is cool.
I was like, okay.
Before Komodo, before all those type of restaurants, it was.
You told me that. You mentioned that there too. That was like one of the originals.
Yeah, it is for the
thanks.
Asian fusion scene.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Mr. Chow.
All right. I think that was pretty much it. I don't know if you guys want to mention anything else.
No, I mean, yeah. This year's been awesome. So it's been amazing.
All right. So, 2025.
Yeah.
What do you have in mind? What are you looking? Maybe is there anything different down the line, or is there any Miami New Time events or anything that you guys are trying? Like you guys are a part of an organization that's huge.
Yeah.
And has a lot of power. You know?
Yeah.
Do you guys have influence in like kind of like getting them a little bit more innovative, or how does that work out?
Yeah, so I know like the marketing side, they do their own thing with events, but editorial wise, like I would love to do more like interviews on camera with restaurant owners and like chefs, and just like even me going to places trying them, because I eat so much food, but no one's filming it.
Yeah.
And I'm not filming it, and I think like that would be amazing to just do that more. We have a new social media editor. If you notice, like our page is way better, like from when I started.
Yeah.
It was our new editor. So
What
she's been doing really well.
What do you need for that? Like a team to go out and produce with you? Then?
Yeah, just like help me. Yeah, like produce content that like when I go out to eat, because I'm doing it all the time. So that'd be awesome. And then more reviews. Like I think like more reviews, and just like that would really like get us up there with like credibility.
It'd be crazy if you do like something like presidential style, like first 100 days, 100 reviews in the first 100 days.
That's,
100 reviews, 100
that's
days
so
campaign.
ambitious. But
I think she already saw herself not sleeping.
yeah, I know. I already know. I'm already like, oh my God, after this, I have to be like writing 100 things.
Awesome, though.
But yeah, and then just like killing. Honestly, I want more hidden gems. Like I want to kill like all these mom and pop shops and blow them up. Like I want to like.
I think
You know?
I think you guys have been doing a good job with that, and I think Infatuation
And I have
does
so-
a good job
yeah,
with that too. You
yeah.
know, like highlighting that the local.
That's what I really want.
What about the
to do.
hidden gem that's right around the corner from you?
Because I don't want anyone else.
Nobody knows about it. That's a real hidden gem. Gables
yeah.
Cafe, real hidden gem. I'll walk over there with you guys
All right,
right
let's
now,
do it.
and I'll introduce you to the owner. He's right there. He's cooking. He's cooking, my boy Steve.
That's what I want. That's the
special-
story. That's the
we don't
type
want
of
special
story.
treatment.
But I don't want you to.
We're
No,
gonna
I don't want. No, he doesn't get special treatment. Like I don't get no free croquetas. I don't get no free
That
coffees.
if we go in there with you, that they're not going to hate us, and he
No,
really doesn't.
he's, you know what he's gonna say? He goes, he's a very humble guy, and he tells me, brother, it's crazy that everybody you have walking over there always ends up coming over here. So he goes, I've had George Masvidal, I've had like celebrities and stuff that come by here, Carlos Arroyo, stuff that come eat a croqueta or like a pan con lechon, and I know that it's coming from your office because I'll ask him or something like that.
That's so funny.
Do they make their own croquetas there?
They do not. They do not. He's so no. He makes phenomenal. Listen, we're gonna go see you, Steve.
We're gonna go see.
Check it out, Nicole.
Oh
a
my
real
God.
pleasure.
No.
Okay,
Thank
I
you
would
so
love to
much for
have you
having
guys
me.
back. And
I know
Thank
we
you.
do. It's super
next
fun.
time you gotta come without your wife.
Thank you for allowing me to replace El Feo today.
Oh, wow. No, thank you.
Phil
Kiko.
is being a good father. That's what he's doing. He's being a good father. All right, guys. Well.
All right, thank you.